Hello and welcome to the first stream in a very, very long time of Miami Esports Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. My name is Trey Linkley Moss, and I'm sitting here with
Afterglow.
And today we are very excited for some Super Smash Brothers gameplay. If you don't know, this typically isn't a regular occurrence. Typically, you'd be expecting a Rocket League broadcast right now, but it is a bye week for Rocket League, and this is a pretty huge match against Michigan State. As you know, they have a pretty great team of players on their side. I know they got Onan on their team. Not too sure about the rest of the roster or who's exactly going to be playing yet. But we should be going to game pretty soon. Is there anything you're excited to see today?
Oh man, just seeing Onan to play or just any top level player is always like one of the most exciting parts, especially in a crew battle, because they're not in the environment of a regular tournament, right? You have the factor of the rest of your team to be focusing on. It's not just you, the good player that's on the team. Now you need to be sure that, oh, I could beat these characters, or I could do battle against these kind of characters, or I should just let this person in. But of course, there's also the rest of the team to worry about, not just Onan, for example.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, how crew battles work in Smash is every team is going to send in one player at the start. It's gonna be normal 1v1 to see whoever wins. Whoever has any stocks left. Let's say, for example, we had one stock remaining after the first match. Then Michigan State will send the next player in, and then our player from the last match would still remain, but would go off the edge a couple times until they were down to one stock left. So basically, at the end, it'll whoever wins will have the most stocks remaining. It might be 1 stock, it might be 6 stocks. We'll have to see how the game works out. But essentially, it works like that. So it's gonna be best of 3. We're gonna go. So there's gonna be 5 players, each with 3 stocks, so 15 stocks on each team. We're gonna go down to the bottom and then go again. So first to 2, best of 3. It should be a pretty exciting match.
The big thing to think about is with these stocks being maybe not expendable is the right word, but they're not allocated specifically to one player. You're not required to send in the same player in every single time. They don't have to go first. They don't have to go second. They may not go at all. So it becomes a big factor into seeing, oh, this team has A players A, B, and C. Maybe they're going to send in players B and C, but then you get sideswiped by player A coming out, for example. That's just a thought. There's so much to be put into crew battles and who you want to send in.
Yeah. So it looks like we're gonna go right into the game here. It's gonna be Palpa versus a Greninja player on Michigan State. I'm not quite sure who it is. Michigan State's just MSU1 here. Good luck, Calfon, going out from Palpa. They're just starting on PS2 here, which is a pretty standard stage here. Give me a little dash around here. Greninja jumping off. Might almost lost a stock there, but decided to go back up the stage there. It's nice to see. Oh, just a quick button check. Okay. We're not going to the first match just yet. I was gonna say I don't know why they're just not interacting at all here. Just jumping around a little bit, checking the buttons, checking the lag, making sure everything's okay. I'm not too sure if the first match is going to end up being PS2 here, but we'll see.
I'm not sure what the rules are for MEC this year. I'm assuming that with the button check, these are the characters that the players are going to be using. Previously, you have been able to just have the advantage to use any character during the button check. But assuming this is going to be Greninja Villager, it's going to be a slower matchup, but it's just as technical as any other you're going to be encountering here.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this match ends up turning out. Players just SDing, losing their stocks to go back into the menu and hopefully going into the actual match.
Aster?
All right, we're learning that Michigan State's player is Aster, A-S-T-E-R, Aster. Maybe a little shortening of asteroid. I'm not too sure, but as me Aster for Michigan State here. We should be going into the actual match pretty shortly. Villager, Greninja, hopefully on PS2. They're going back to selection, so maybe that is not the stage that we're going to be seeing today. But yeah, I like the little doggo on Michigan State's profile though.
Wait, what's their mascot?
Their mascot is the Spartans, but they have a dog.
They have a dog.
Maybe they're just maybe inside that helmet there is just a cute little dog.
Oh,
I'd love to see that.
You said Trojans, right?
Trojans?
You didn't say Trojans.
I said Spartans. It is not Trojans. I know some schools are the Trojans, I think. I'm not too sure, but Michigan State is the Spartans. Oh, we're learning someone from Productions High School was the Trojans. But yeah, no, it is not the Trojans. It is the Spartans. We get the player names changed at the top, so we're going to see Palpa versus Aster here. Still selecting. I assume they're going to do stage bans right now, as that's what they're doing currently. Do you have any predictions for what stage we might see?
I know Spencer, for us, that he loves to do stage bans. He's definitely going to pick something probably campier. I wouldn't be surprised to see Town and City being the big one, obviously. Greninja does well, though, on FD, for example, so Villager, maybe going to be struggling a little bit, especially once those platforms dissipate. Along with the fact that Villager tends to be a character that struggles just to come back from being put in a disadvantaged state, with Greninja being the absolute opposite. So so many names. Palpa needs to be going to be on his tiptoes in this matchup, but I don't know. Maybe there's something I don't know about this matchup that just makes it so much nicer for Villager.
We'll have to see. Is Michigan State still selecting? Seems like they're done selecting. Might be finally getting into this first match here. I'm excited to see if Town and City was actually picked. I wouldn't be super surprised. But yeah, like you said, once those platforms start to fade away, Powell might have to be a little on his toes there, try not to get caught up by the Greninja. But we'll see what the stage is right now. It is actually going to be PS2. They are ready to fight here, and we are getting into the first game here. Sitting out little Gyroid there, playing the tree. After playing a little bit further back, Palpa's just trying to bait him to go closer. I'm not too sure what the strategy is here, but forwarder going out here from the Greninja. Little jab, getting some guys damage in, and yeah, that's going to be the side B going out. Just still playing a little bit far from each other.
Yeah, it's gonna be back and forth, the projectile game all the way. This could go, if I all the way, I mean possibly all 10 minutes. We're gonna find out as time goes on. I think both these characters, they have just that not a great possibility to be aggressive, but once they're in, they will deal massive amount of damage, and their kill power is not something to be underestimated. Like that up smash, for example, all notorious for characters to fall out of it. If it hits, you might die much earlier than you think you're going to do. But wait till you get hit by something like Villager's down smash or that tree.
Yeah, Papa already being at 100% is going to be more susceptible to those smashes as long as he doesn't fall out of it here. Still a lot of zoning going on here. Just playing back. I know Papa for sure doesn't want to get hit by any of these attacks. Oh, barely missing that up smash. Papa getting hit again by this up air. Will the up airs kill? I'm not too sure. He's going to be able to fall back out of it. Get back to ledge. Back on the stage, actually. It's going to be Side being still trying to take his space away from this Greninja. Got a little closer than they're getting out. And it's just going to be still trying to keep their distance from this Greninja here.
Yeah, the amazing DI and tech from Kalpa so far. With Villager, he needs to be watching out for. Oh, that air dodge is going to just take the first stock. Okay. Well, there you go. You have it. You earned it. And then he's just going to be taking his time coming back to the stage. And that back air is just going to take it, unfortunately. We're going to be taking it and going back to even stocks.
Lucky for Palpa for the SD there from Aster, but immediately getting traded back, so we're back to even stock here. Percentage advantage is kind of not existent here, so we're pretty much right back to where we started here. With 2 minutes in, so things are going maybe a little bit slower than some other matchups you might see, but that's going to be expected here. Just still just shielding, running around, trying to get caught in each other's crossfire here. Kind of a whole lot of not a lot of damage being taken right now here.
Yeah, it's a slow game. Just the big issue is if you whiff on Villager, if you whiff on Greninja, you will eat tons and tons of damage for it. And both players know this very well, whether they're scared of it or determined to just not be the victim of whatever interaction is going on. The absolute patience and these callouts like that F smash, for example, is a necessity. But these callouts also need to be correct. And if you're just going to whiff, not like that up smash.
That was actually pretty good read. I did not think he was going to fall to that initially. Backer's going out. Palpa not getting caught in too much damage there. After actually being the one lower this time, but you know that forward is going to get Palpa closer and closer, closing that percentage lead. Isn't the side B? Both players under the stage now. Oh, unfortunately for Aster, he did not SD with the air dodge there. Both players getting back to stage successfully, missing that up smash a little bit. Oh, both players, potentially one hit away if a smash attack lands.
Oh, and like that, but Palpa chooses not to commit to any kill option. And the bowling ball is going to be taking it. Aster down to his last stock, and Michigan State down to 13 stocks this game so far.
This is just the first match of our first game of the set here. So there's still a lot of smash to be witnessed here. Palpa's just gonna try to get as much damage onto Aster here. Try to lose this second stock here to try to get a little more advantage going to this next round, because as you remember, if Palpa keeps all the stocks that he would keep, same with Aster if he ends up winning into this next game here. So not losing that second stock would be huge here, but might be getting lost here in just a second.
The back throw not taking it. Yeah, like the stock's carrying over. A stock is not truly gone until it is taken out like that. The big thing, but one of the big aspects not mentioned yet is momentum, not just in the game, but just in the set in general. If you're carrying over 2 stocks over from previous, you're going to have to making up a deficit on that team that has just lost their 3, but only took 1. And if Palpa is able to take this game, or whichever player is able to take this game, they'll be able to ride at least some little bit of momentum carrying on forward to the next set. Match.
Yeah, we're both players down to the last stock. Palpa taking a lot of damage here. Oh, and that up air is gonna end up killing, and that's gonna be Aster left with 1 more stock. We'll have to see who Miami ends up sending in there. But great stuff from Aster. Initially seeming like he was down a stock, but then immediately brought that back with a pretty early kill on the Palpa. And as you were saying, you know, if they get caught in each other's attacks, they can take a lot of damage really quickly.
Yeah. As we say, something interesting, this was the first time I've noticed at least Aster playing aggressively on stage at the very least. Aster was so much more focused on getting Palpa off stage, while Palpa was just looking for those opportunities to kill on stage, off stage, wherever. But the one time here where... Oh, that's not what we're looking at. But we'll get to it. We'll see that Aster playing aggressively on stage and it paying off with this call out from up air to up air, taking the stock and carrying the momentum for Michigan State to the next game. For next, oh, this is the same game.
There we go. A little replay here, yeah.
Right there.
Seeing that aggression pay off. I did like that bowling ball from Palpa, but unfortunately, it didn't lead to closing out the game here. Yeah, I believe we do have a little bit more time before this next match goes on here. I wonder, do you have any predictions who Miami might end up sitting in here?
Numa?
We might be getting a Numa getting sent in. Resident Pyramithra player has been on PR, I believe. I'm not sure regionally or Ohio necessarily, but it's still a very good player here. I'm excited to see. Numa is playing from home. I'm not sure that's gonna change. Any sort of ping or lag distance, as I believe Numa lives pretty decently far off campus. But I'm still excited to see how this match will go. And do you know how the matchup between Pyramithra and Greninja will lead out?
Oh man, I don't feel like I've seen that matchup before. I definitely feel like it's definitely a matchup that's definitely more common in the higher echelon of Smash. I think it's players like Tariq or Cosmos playing. I don't see it not being a lesser uncommon matchup. I think, however, in this matchup, I think Aegis will take the upper hand, but among other characters, Greninja is so good at just seeing you trying to come back to the stage and you off from your trajectory. And Aegis being probably, I would say, the best character known to having the worst, the best character with the worst recovery, if that makes sense. Aegis is so, I don't know what the right word is, but it's so easy to capture their recovery and so easy to just disallow it, to not let them recover, among other great characters. And that is definitely going to be something we're going to be seeing Greninja attempt to do if they pull out Aegis.
Yeah, I do expect the Pyramithra to go out. That is Numa's main. It seems like it wouldn't be too bad to go into Greninja, so I'm not really sure why we'd see anything else. I know Numa's been playing a lot of Hero recently though, so I'm not too sure if that will go out. Might see some funny. A top deck would be pretty funny. I personally think Hero's kind of funny. I know some people hate Hero. I don't know what your opinion on Hero is.
I don't mind Hero. He, at least for my character, he's definitely just a interesting character, being a sword character with not the greatest frame data on his sword, but with all of his magic mana, his top deck, all his deck in general, all the options he has with that magic definitely elevates him to be a better character than he could have been without it. And I think in this matchup, especially with something, I forget the name of the magic spell. Is that what's called? Spells?
I'm not too sure.
Neither am I. But there's a spell that just essentially reflects every projectile in the game. So if Numa were to, well, next time.
Let's talk about Pyramithra. I mean, excuse me, Hero. And they just end up going with Pyramithra here. So yeah, we're gonna see Aster losing both of their initial stocks here, and then the players can get ready to go back into the game. We're getting warm up a little bit here, starting on Hollow Bastion. That is Miami's map pick. A little taunt here to signify that we're gonna be going into the game first. And what Numa's gonna try to do is just gonna get aggressive immediately, which is what's gonna be happening. A lot of damage already going out to Aster, already at 54% and off stage. And Numa just showing a lot of aggression right away.
Yeah, compared to Villager, this is a much more aggressive, in-your-face character. And on a stage like this, one of the greatest advantages you can have is being what a lot of people call this box that's underneath the platform with projectile characters or characters that, oh my gosh, often need to land on top of their opponent, just make it much more difficult to land on them. So Numa just going to have that stage advantage. Not only that, but I think maybe in this matchup or just experience, I think Numa has so far, but I don't know Aster nearly as well. And this matchup will tell.
Yeah, Pyra's normals and aerials have so much knockback and damage. So right now, even just one aerial on stage could potentially do it. And
Until
almost got the kill. That's crazy. That is just how much knockback Pyra does. That'd be the neutral will be breaking the shield. Not sure.
Just standing there. There you go. Okay.
Yeah. Not too sure why Aster just stood there with shield on that. Maybe he didn't know that it could break shield or something. That's not his fault.
Yeah, I mean, from the looks of it, I would, if I were in Aster's position, I would think that Numa's trying to bait out a roll get up and then, do a neutral get up. Okay, they're not going to reach that. But with that neutral, you're stuck in shield lag, and that's just going to keep eating away. And oh, there goes my shield. There goes my stock. We're back down to 12 stocks apiece for each team.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, great stuff there from Numa. We're gonna get a little replay here of that shield break into the smash attack. Numa just kind of had to stare a little bit, maybe collecting their thoughts, turn around, and then ended up closing up. And ended up closing out the match there. Great stuff. Back down to even stocks. We're gonna see who Michigan State decides to send in here. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with their roster or what characters they like to play. Do you know any potential bad matchups for Aegis that they could maybe send in if they had it?
Bad matchups for Aegis.
I know they're a really good character, so there's not too many.
Oh man, there's gotta be there's gotta be a bunch I'm just not thinking about. There's gonna be some sleeper character that's just gonna be amazing against Aegis. Like in some universe, Link is gonna be is amazing against Aegis with all of his projectiles and
Yeah,
neutral. I mean, it's probably not the case, but I mean, maybe Mega Man.
that's fair. I mean, we may player with a lot of good edge guarding potential since that recovery is pretty weak.
That you need get off me tools, you need the speed, you need the distance to match the Aegis sword. I don't know what the actual name is called, unfortunately, but
Some Xenoblade head knows.
yeah, if we get like semi-stable in here,
Okay,
there's
we're
a
gonna see
Jigglypuff.
a Jigglypuff with the name Juicy. Juicy the Jigglypuff. That's some nice alliteration there. Jigglypuff is quite interesting. I mean, Jigglypuff just kind of have infinite recovery, all those jumps, the side B stall, the pretty good air dodge. I would honestly, I am rooting for Miami here, but I love to see a good Jigglypuff rest.
Yeah. Oh, Puff would be good Puff Rush would be amazing to see. Something I know I could just think off the back of my head is the amount of times I've just not been able to come back on stage just because I was trying to recover against Puff. And when you have such a linear recovery as Aegis, maybe not the most obvious of linear recoveries in the game, but one nonetheless comparatively at the bare minimum, you are going to be struggling to recover against Puff. But Puff is going to be struggling much more to get in on such a character with such an extended hitbox. They have this giant sword in between you, and now it's just like, get in here. Good luck. Try. You could just go ahead, try, and you're gonna die so early if you mess up a few times. The room for error is so minimal with both these characters. Maybe one off stage more than one on stage, but nonetheless, this is gonna be a much more volatile matchup, I would think.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I do agree with you, as you said. It's gonna be mostly based on mistakes. Who's gonna end up taking this one out? I feel like Numa's gonna try their best to stay on stage and not get edge guarded by Puff with that weak recovery. But Puff's gonna try to make sure that Numa does not get in. Maybe take advantage of some whiff normals to try to get in, do some damage, and get Numa off stage. I'm not too sure how many rests we're going to see. It might be a little hard to commit to one with how aggressive Aegis can be. But I would love to see one if somehow the shield got broken or maybe a nice little read in the air.
Um, That's true. But I guess with combos, the one thing to worry about is Aegis has foresight, or I think only one of those characters has foresight, if I'm not mistaken. Mithra has foresight, if I'm not mistaken. And it's going to be so much less of a room for error if you're trying to get a combo in for rest. And we are going to be going to FD for this match.
FD here, I believe that would be Michigan State's pick here. The side beat going out, getting some early damage, but Numa immediately going back. It's just going to be going pretty aggressive there with jumping with a neutral air. Read the roll correctly, but the side beat taking some shield damage there, but Numa's still doing all right. That's going to be more aggression from Numa. Juicy is going a little bit more aggressive than I expected him to be here. Just kind of those aerials kind of jumping in, just kind of trying to bait out, see what Numa will do, making any mistakes. That's me the neutral beat going out from Numa, doing some huge damage here, and that's me Juicy already at 100%. Oh, and almost died already.
Yeah, like I said, the just. And that's gonna take a stock for sure.
Wow.
Getting in is gonna be so difficult, and on a stage like FD, you don't have that much leeway to be like, okay, this wasn't a good option, I'm gonna go disengage. With Puff being such a floaty character, you're gonna be slowly air dodging just away, and Aegis being a fast character, you're just gonna run after you and be like, hey, you messed up, now you gotta pay for it.
Yeah. And we are seeing Numa taking little to no damage already here, and Juicy already pretty low. Could have been setting up for a rest there, but did not follow through here. The upbeat going out almost killed Juicy again. Numa on 56%. Literally any aerial here could kill potentially. we'll see what ends up happening. But you know, Numa isn't rest percent though. So if we do see a good hit confirm here to go into this rest, that could end up happening. Just some aerials going out. Juicy playing this a little slower, some more aerials, getting some more damage on the Numa, but doesn't look like anything is set up yet for Juicy to take the stock.
And that's going to be taking another stock with just up tilt alone from Pyra. One thing I love to see from Numa is just how much more aggressively we've seen Numa play compared to just everybody else. It's not a sense of disrespectfulness, neither is it... I don't want to be stupid. Like, Numa is smart. Numa knows what's going on and knowing, okay, this is obviously going to be a done situation if I do this option. But every option Numa is picking, while it may not be the most safe option, it's going to be yielding so much more reward. And it's just another way of poking into Juicy space and be like, hey, I'm coming in. And being such a volatile character, a balloon Pokemon, it's so uncomfortable when someone's in your space like that.
Yeah, Numa's doing a great job of closing out the space. Switching to Pyra is looking to take the stock before losing another, losing the first of their own, and is going to end up taking that with just a random up air. Oh, not necessarily so random, but just an up air getting sent out. I mean, Numa getting a 3 stock there onto Juicy, which is huge for Miami. Going to be up 3 stocks, 12-9 here.
Yeah, 3 stocks from this match and a 4th from the previous. I mean, depending on how you look at it, I would say that Numa's on a 4-stock streak so far. Oh my god, that was my phone. On a 4-stock streak so far. And I don't know who they could send in now. I'm seeing them just send in Puff like this. I don't know if maybe they had a better option in mind, or maybe there was just something else they were thinking about, but whatever the case was, it just did not turn the plan, unfortunately. Maybe it was because of the stage, maybe because of just Numa absolutely blowing up their expectations, whatever the case. Whoever they send in next is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I'm interested to see because, you know, you would think, you know, maybe they usually the person that they send in first would be their best option against that character. And if Puff was their best option to Pyramithra, Michigan State might be a little bit in trouble here, just based on how the character matchups will pull out. We'll have to wait and see who Michigan State decides to send in. They likely just want to have maybe their most confident player, who's the most likely just to take out Numa with as little stocks lost as possible. But we'll have to see. We're gonna see a Ness player. I'm not sure. I didn't hear that name correctly, but I'm sure we'll see that typed on screen pretty soon. Ness is pretty interesting. Another character that could edge guard decently well. I would think maybe against Numa. Isn't have extra projectiles to hopefully zone out Numa to make sure that they can't get in. You know, as Puff had no projectiles at all. That name is gonna be Echo Fire. I thought he said Echo Fighter for a second. And that is just not that is a term in the game, not necessarily a gamer tag, I would believe. But is there any stage predictions you think for Ness into Pyramithra?
Stage predictions I'm not too sure on, but something I think about is I hear often that Ness's worst matchup is Lucina, and now you're going to be going against a character with a much more dangerous sword. Maybe not given the same leeway to coming back onto the stage, but it's still having the same issue as one of your worst matchups, and I assume that Aegis maybe isn't far off from where Lucina is placed. With stages, though, we might see FD again. Maybe they're just like, okay, that went ugly. Maybe let's not go there. I'm not sure what Numa would ban. I'm not sure what they would pick, honestly, at all. I don't know these characters well. I don't know these 2 characters well enough, but seeing them play is so fun, to say the least.
Yeah, that was a really fun match to see, at least from being a Miami supporter. I'm sure Michigan State fans are a little bit disappointed in that last showing. But yeah, that was Numa taking all 3 stocks from Juicy in just 2.5 minutes here. We're gonna see I'm not sure what the players are doing in the other room quite here, but we are looking at their camera.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're watching the stream, watching us. Either way, I've seen just Lombardi look at the camera several times. I'm guessing they're just seeing what's happening, and if they are, like, best of luck to you guys. And of course, the Michigan State as well. We want to see both teams do just as well as they could possibly be. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be a little bit more biased for Miami, but at the end of the day, you know, we want to see these players play at their best and have the most fun, the best experience possible. And I hope it happens with everyone.
Yeah, we're all in esports and playing our games for the passion. After all, we do love what we do and generally love the games you play. I know some people talk about not liking the games they play too much. I believe this was probably the end of another button check. Oh, no, that was a replay. Just kidding, that was a replay. We are going right into the next match. This is going to be Numa into Echo Fire, the Ness. This is like they're taking months. They kind of just both stood there at the same time.
Yeah,
That was kind of funny.
One of my favorite things to do neutral is just staring at the opponent. Maybe not a sign of dominance or any kind of intimidation factor by any means, but sometimes it's just fun to be like.
The best neutral is just no inputs at all. That's how I like to look at it.
Maybe a bull is most useful when it's empty, and in this game is just standing still, not putting in anything. You're not committing to anything, but you're not losing anything. But nevertheless, you're not gaining anything either. But gaining percent is what Numa is starting to do, but it is just almost even out in percents. If this were an ultimate, it would be without those point decimals.
those decimals out of an ultimate are pretty interesting here. We're gonna see. Oh, the shield going out on the down tilt, but the aerial is going to go out. Pretty even percentage here, and this is a somewhat aggressive match compared to that Villager Greninja we did see at the beginning here. But Numa just loves to get in and press buttons, as we are seeing here. But Echo Fire is still doing a pretty good job, keeping things pretty even. That was a pretty good forwarder. We'll see if they can get back to stage. Unfortunately, unable to get back to stage. And I think Numa losing their first stock. Echo Fire still having a decent amount of percentage here, and some huge damage going out already from Echo Fire.
But going to be able to make it back. Is what I was worried about. Aegis not having there we go, exploitable is the word, and having an extremely susceptible and exploitable recovery. But Ness also does to some degree. Oh, not going to be making the tech, and is in danger of getting spiked and losing your stock.
Oh, Numa losing 2 stocks before Echo Fire has even lost their first. High percentage here, though, and that is the stock we lost to Pyra up there. That's something Numa's finally excited to see. You know, that one stock they've been working on for a while already taken. But I think 3 stocks in total already lost within the first 2 minutes here. We'll see if it's as quick of a match as the one previously here. But Numa is going and getting some damage, getting some pretty big combos here. Is looking to close out the stock gap again. There's a 77% already going out to Echo Fire. Numa is not taking any extra damage yet, except for this PK Fire that just went out.
There's that foresight. It's not going to be getting too much off of it. The up smash not killing yet, with Pythra usually having the kill factor that Mithra having the kill factor that Pyra lacked. Oh, I had to hold my breath. I'm sorry. But
no, it's understandable. That was a little bit of a binder there.
Yeah, the yo-yo catching the recovery and taking Numa 3 stocks to 1.
That's definitely something you like to see from Michigan State, bringing it to almost even stocks yet again, I believe. As you know, Miami's gonna be down to 9, Michigan State down to 8 stocks. We're gonna see who Michigan State decide to send in next. Miami's going to decide to send in this next time. Seems like they're discussing it in the other room who they would like to send in against the Ness. I'm not too sure who they'd like to send in. Do you have any predictions based on who characters they play?
The big thing I think about, and of course it's just with my character, Little Mac, but is going to be recovery. Like we see Numa losing all 3 stocks to Aegis's unfortunately exploitable recovery. And when we look at our roster, hi Lombardi. Well, like speaking of Lombardi, Falco, sending in Ferb, okay.
The big Jake, big Ferb. That is the Ice Climbers player, #1 Ice Climbers player in the United States, by the way. Just saying. Anyways, we're gonna see Ferb going in for the side of Miami. Is looking to potentially use Ice Climbers tools of getting people away with those desyncs with that Blizzard Wall, with those ice blocks to potentially combat some of Ness's projectiles. But I feel like Ice Climbers doesn't have too great of a recovery either, though.
Oh, yeah, especially with a character that can spam out so many projectiles and 2 characters that can be and will be desynced by Ferb. Recovery against these 2 characters are difficult. Every single bit, you're going to be fighting tooth and nail just to hopefully not get accidentally hit by a little ice block that sends you away. But also fighting on stage, Ice Climbers is difficult. And if you don't know the matchup, you might as well hang in the towel. But if you do know the matchup, we're going to be in for a good battle. I'm not sure how the matchup is, how this specific matchup is, but it's going to be interesting happening here on, I forget his name all the time, this wonderful stage Sora has.
Hollow Bastion.
Hollow Bastion, yes, that's it. We got it.
All our Kingdom Hearts fans love this stage, and I'm personally loving Ferb's name right here. Parkour Civ, representing.
Oh,
you had to change the Switch account name for that, I'm pretty sure.
With 2 players, only one can pick the chicken, one can pick the steak, and we're going to see who it is. But one thing I would say to worry about with Ice Climbers is if they get desynced or they get separated like that, they are extremely susceptible just to being able to send one of them to go to their untimely death or just cancel everything they're doing. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense, but but long story short, Ness's side B PK Fire could be a detriment if it catches one of those, one of the ICs.
Yeah, for sure. And, Ness just have to be careful about these ice blocks. I'm not sure if anyone's going to be having more scared by a piece of ice than the Titanic. We're going to have to see if they go out. Okay. Ness did force to get back to stage, did not get caught up by the ice block, but the ice climbers are going to be separated here. That might be one going down already. Unfortunately, losing, I believe that was the name of the ice climber is Nana immediately. Going to be down to Sopo on 78%. Early into the stock, which is nothing you'd like to see from Ferb. It's going to be significantly less effective with just one ice climber here. Can't do those nice DC techs. And Echo Fire is only taking a little bit of damage so far. So losing a stock this is not something you'd like to see, but it's caught by the ice block, but it's still able to be able to get back to stage. Ferb's going to try to get as much damage as he can, but one ice climber, not going to have a good recovery, not as good recovery, not going to have as good attacks. Might be looking like the stock's about to end here pretty soon for Ferb.
This could be the case, but one thing to think is do not underestimate one ice climber. If you're a player, even especially as good as Ferb, you are going to be dealing in some extra damage. Even if you're playing, of course, the worst character in the game, Sopo, you're going to be dealing, you can still deal massive amount of damage and get the kill in. But rounding out the stocks to both teams, we are back down to even. And with an extra ice climber, being able to have those desyncs that ice climber mains so desire.
And there goes the PK Fires who were warning us about getting some big damage onto the ice climbers, and yet again sending out. Isn't going to grabbing one. Probably tried to desync there. Nana getting caught out, but that is already a ton of damage going on to Ferb. Echo Fire still holding on to the first stock. Numa and Ferb are somewhat struggling to take out here, and that's going to be Ferb already losing their second stock here, yet to take one from Echo Fire. This means Michigan State going from a 3-stock deficit now back to the lead.
Yeah, well, we're only middle of the road with stocks. This is still such a crazy shift in momentum to think about and talk about. Ferb needs to be able to take this stock and hopefully the next stock to be able just to keep things even at the bare minimum. But it is just looking rougher and rougher and more grim with these PK Fires coming minute by minute.
I will say though, if Ferb ends up winning this round, I'll buy a Mechaniac combo on me. Oh, he is gonna get frozen.
Whoa.
Oh.
Not going to be able to get a desync off that up tilt, but that up tilt on the other hand to the up air is going to be taking it, and we are rounded down the stocks. Icy's being a character with just that beautiful touch of death. Do not say that Ferb is out just yet.
Oh, that throw is going to be sending Popo really far away. Nana's looking to potentially die here from those forwarders, but Popo is able to come back and potentially save each other. Oh, down to Sopo. Nana had to unfortunately fall as a sacrifice. Very good sacrifice there. We'll miss you, Nana. But anyways, we're going to see Ferb left on a high percentage, and yeah, just going to die to the Nest dash attack there. Echo Fire only losing one stock, and Ferb losing 3 in a row there. That's not something you necessarily like to see from Miami, but great stuff for Michigan State.
Great stuff to see. That is a devastating blow to Miami, and whoever we're going to send in next is going to be so difficult. Well, we do have several options. I don't know. I couldn't tell you which one who beats Steve. Hey, wait, Lombardi, look at the camera real quick and wave. But but that aside, who do you think they might send in next after the Ness?
I'm not too sure. I mean, I know one of our players is a Steve player, which I think would be something that they would love to send in right now. I feel like Steve would do pretty well against Ness, but unfortunately in this league currently, Steve is still banned, which is a little bit disappointing for that player in particular. But it seems like based on the player cam, they might be sending Klutz in, who is going to be our Kirby player, which could be interesting. Match to see plugging in the controller. I also wouldn't be too surprised to send out Lombardi here pretty soon, but he might be slotted for last here to go in.
It's not uncommon to see Lombardi as an anchor, or Lombardi being Falco being an amazing anchor, but Kirby. Again, I couldn't tell you how it's done in the matchup. I feel like Kirby could get very easily stuck, especially in combos being great combo food, dying early, among other things. but getting in on Kirby can be an absolute nightmare in the end of your stock. If you've ever fought a good Kirby, if you ever fought Klutz specifically, I have one set out of him. Out of like the 10 or 11 times we played, I've only been able to beat him once off of a lucky KO punch. He is such an amazing player. His Kirby is definitely not something to be underestimated. We've seen time and time again players and characters that are of this Ness's level and capacity get absolutely demolished. And I mean, we're going to see if it's him playing and if they're. Oh,
Oh, we're getting the confirmation that it is Klutz the Kirby going out, and you might hear Kirby and be like, "Wait, that's a bad character." That's what my little sister spams down B on when we play with the family. But hey, Kirby in the right hands can be devastating, especially in the hands of Klutz, who is a very, very good Kirby player. I could not come close to taking a set off him. So props to you, Brennan, for being able to do that here. I'm not much of an ultimate player myself. I prefer melee. But anyways, we are here about to go into the game here. Is going to be Klutz versus Echo Fire. Miami looking to finally get Echo Fighter out of the hot seat for Michigan State. Taking that last stock, it should not be too much of a problem for Klutz here, but we'll have to wait and see. We're going to Town and City for the stage here.
Yeah, I was thinking we might be at FD or Town, being both lovely stages for Kirby. And now with Miami back down at the stock deficit, it's going to be interesting to see how Klutz is going to be playing this one out. Being a fun fact, previous member of the team to leave, and probably, I don't think the only one to my knowledge, to like leave and come back, not because of they're going out of, I should focus on the game, honestly. We'll talk about it later.
Backstory isn't bad. Little backstory isn't bad.
We'll get backstories after this game.
After this game,
yeah.
Because you know, as we should see, Klutz should still be in this game after this game is over. But we'll have to see. Maybe Echo Fire can go on a crazy run with these stocks here and 3-stock Klutz. We'll have to see. Little damage going out. Onto Echo Fire from Klutz. More of those forward airs just going out. Just trying to get any damage started on Echo Fire. But you know, not being super duper successful just yet. But you know, we are in just the start of the match, and a little bit slower of a match as we're 1 minute in. No stocks taken, barely percentage taken either. So we're gonna have to maybe sit back and relax a little bit here.
Yeah, so we already saw one of Klutz's greatest tools with not just this matchup, but the character in general, and that is just Kirby Crouch, especially with Ness being a character to be tossing out moves, projectiles, etc. in the air, just like that. While we haven't seen it just yet again, Kirby's ability just to be able to flatten himself and just stay as such a difficult target to hit is definitely going to come to Klutz's advantage. But he still needs to make it back and avoid that yo-yo amazingly. Throw Ness back on stage.
I was neutral coming out, getting Palpa. Excuse me, not Palpa. It's name's Palpa, so I get confused. Getting Klutz the Kirby off of him there. More nairs going out from the Ness. Klutz might be about to lose a stock here, which is something you do not want to see from Miami, because even if you do take out Echo Fire, that means you're still going to be at a stock deficit. So Klutz looking out to close out this stock as soon as possible, but no, Echo Fire is able to take yet another stock. I'm not quite sure how much of a stock, how many stocks in a row that was, but it has to be like at least 6 or 7. That has been crazy from Echo Fire.
He's taken. Did he take Numa out?
Took Numa out, took Ferb out. I'm not sure how many stocks Numa had left though, but still at this point it has to be at least 6, I believe.
Yeah.
Echo Fire going crazy there for Michigan State. That's gonna be Up B getting back on the stage. It has to be a wonderful smash attack read of Klutz finally taking out Epic Echo Fire. Miami in a 1-stock disadvantage, but I think they're just glad to see Ness off the screen here.
Yeah, just the amount of pressure to be facing off against a character with 1 stock left, nothing to lose. A man with what's that phrase called? You know, a man with nothing more dangerous than a man with nothing to lose. That's how it feels when you're on a crew battle and you have 1 stock left. And it sounds like a joke, but the pressure is on for you to be able just to knock this character out and bring those stocks back down. Because if you're losing stocks against a player with just 1 stock left, it's not only just a sense of absolute pressure going around you. Well, they're holding a lead. They're furthering the lead, and that's that pressure of not just feeling but fact is going to get to you really fast as a player. So, congrats to Klutz.
We almost did it again.
Did I say Palpa?
You almost said Palpa. It's fine. Beautifully said, though. Beautifully said. We're have to see who Michigan State decides to send in here next. I know Kirby has a decent. A banjo
Fair?
player in the year 2024?
Oh,
That's
you'll be surprised. Oh, they're sending in Fair. Fair's an amazing player. I saw him at Diamond Dust. I played him in Rock, Paper, Scissors. I think I lost, unfortunately.
Oh.
I know it was rigged, but amazing player, amazing person, and just player to talk to. I've turned around to slowly become more of a fan of banjo as I've played against the one local banjo. Oh, I don't. Lil Gamer, amazing person also. But Banjo as a character, it can be devastating. Another also devastating to not know the matchup of, and just absolutely can roll, just mow you down in damage if given the opportunity. I think both Kirby and Banjo have this, but I've never seen this matchup before, so I'm not sure how
I
it could
I
go.
haven't either. It's a little bit of a rare one,
Yeah.
especially at the higher level of play because Kirby and Banjo are not traditionally played a lot. They are in like the top 20 or so of characters, but they still can definitely win as we just saw as Clutch did close that last one out. We're going into the game here though. I'm interested to see what stage it might be. Is going to be PS2. Pretty standard here for the game. Clutch going for green Kirby this time though. A little bit of a switch up. Out there signaling the start of the round, and here we go. As immediately those bombs go out for Banjo, which is something I'm going to see a lot here. Clutch is going to have to be very careful, trying to lose a stock early here, as what Miami wants is for Clutch to take all three of those stocks to get back into some sort of advantage here. But it's going to be a little bit hard already being down a stock, and all those projectiles for Banjo-Kazooie going out, and you have to be scared of that side B at all times. It's going to be a little bit rough for Clutch potentially, but we'll have to see how this round ends up going out.
Yeah, I completely forgot about Wondering because outside of that, Banjo's biggest tool is going to be his grenade. It's going to be dictating neutral. It's going to be if he's going to be approaching, holding shield, whatever he's going to do. Like that, for example, being able to recover and send that Fair to just be an absolute powerhouse of a threat. And that Wonder Wing being a lagging hitbox. If you touch it, you're gone. But you don't need that. You may just need a down throw and an up tilt to close out the stock. But characters. Clutch is not that far off. Okay, Palpa's tags right there. That's why I keep almost saying
I know,
it.
it's a little confusing. They're just playing on the same switch here in the building. So they can't really change the names too easily. Because that's unfortunately how online works, so thank you, Nintendo. But you love Nintendo. I mean, they did make this game, to be fair, but the competitive space around this game could be a little bit better, I will say. But that is going to be fair on pretty high percentage here. So Clutch is looking to close this one out. At least getting one stock is better than none. So I'd love to see that here soon. Both players not sending a lot of damage there, but that is that Wonder Wing going out. And if you do see the 5 little feathers above it, oh my god!
That's a gross setup. That's covering.
Oh
get
my
up attack,
god!
Get up roll. Get up attack too. Being stuck in that hit stun from the grenade into the F smash. There's just nothing you could do. There's just nothing you could do.
That is. I honestly have no words for that. I really thought Clutch was at least going to get one, and then the read into the F smash, dying at like what 60% to that. That was insane. I'm sure that's not really what Miami would like to hear, but I believe we're going to see Lombardi the anchor about to go in here. Not super sure how Falco would do into this matchup necessarily, but those grenades are still going to be a big threat. As you said, they are going to be dictating neutral, seeing allowing you how to get in, how you cannot get in. And Wonder Wing is very, very scary. It is invincible. It has limited uses with those 5 feathers above it, just hitting how many you have left. There's only 5 per stock. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, sending in if they send in Lombardi, I mean the greatest advantage he's going to be having is just that reflector, just going to be disallowing Banjo to be using that grenade for whatever he wants. At the same time, if you start to bait that out, Falco is a very vulnerable character, and just like Kirby, is going to be dying extremely early, especially to a heavy hitter like Banjo. But I mean, Falco has that speed, he has the mobility, he has, I would say, the frame advantage in terms of just his overall moveset. If I was to look at these two characters, I would think that Falco would have a matchup advantage, but that is to be seen. That is to be dictated. It's possible these two players have played before too, considering they're not far off from each other. So I want to see how they play in Town and City.
We're going back to Town. Both players having 3 stocks remaining. Miami's going to try to close this out with as little stocks lost as possible to try to maybe bring it back from a pretty large deficit here. And Lombardi the anchor, I believe, can do it. It might be potentially a little bit rough here, but they're going to try to close this out with plenty of a stock lead. So, the last player doesn't have to worry about it just a little bit. But the round has started. Pretty even percentage lead here. The Reflector is getting some good use on those grenades. They're not being as effective as maybe they were in the last matchup, but, still getting hit by one, getting egged off stage, and Wonder Wing! No! No!
That's horrifying. And that's just every stock. Every stock, Banjo has all those Wonder Wings. Not just this whole game. So that could happen several times. And we won't have that stocks to show that several times. But for momentum, for damage, for winning, this is huge. Chat, this is huge.
And that Wonder Wing is going out. It's sitting up pretty far. Is there one Wonder Wing left? It's just going to spam it back and forth as he just couldn't recover after going back to one. But so there's really one stock loss from there, which is going to be pretty huge for Lombardi, especially if we can get a good combo out here. Would like to close the next two stocks out on the last two stocks here. But it's going to get pressured out a little bit as the platform is rotating in. Did end up catching a grenade, ended up just shielding to not take the explosion. But it's going to be caught off stage again, hit by another grenade. I'm sure Lombardi's scared of another Wonder Wing off stage, just taking another stock. The Wonder Wing is going to be going out. Expecting him to get back to stage. 2 left. This is a pretty fast-paced match, though. We're at a minute 40 seconds in. 2 stocks are to be taken with a lot of percentage being dealt as well.
I don't even know where to start. Oh man, that F smash is almost hitting though. This neutral is just so difficult. The room for error for Falco is just so minimal, with Banjo, as I have mentioned, being such a heavy hitter. That amazing tech, but amazing spike also.
God! Wait, he might be saving. He saved himself. No! Okay. I was gonna say, if he said to immediately lose the stock, okay, that was a good DI. But you used the grenades and the uppy to save himself, but the grenade exploded, bounced off the bottom of the stage. Well, this is like a roller coaster of emotions that just happened.
Oh my god! Unfortunately, seeing Lombardi go plinko at the bottom of the stage and not attacking, we still very able to take the stock at this percentage, but not going to be able to close it out. There it is, amazing up smash coming from Lombardi's Falco, and needs to take out one more stock before they can even fight the anchor, who may be Onan, we talked about earlier.
It may be Onan. We'll see if Onan ends up needing to come out here. Ferris will look to close us out right here, right now. But Miami on their last stock, Lombardi on his last stock. The last hope for Miami. Percentages really matter. He's just gonna not die. The Wonder Wing going out, sitting him far off stage. A good grenade could have potentially ended the stock right there, but Lombardi fortunately able to get back to stage. That's a miss for there. Neutrals are going out. Those grenades, though, are going to be really scary, especially with that Wonder Wing. He has plenty of Wonder Wings left. Back on stage, no platforms left. A missed forward smash, but not going to be punished for it.
Both players you can see are terrified and are just sending out kill options, whether it is a forward smash, a down tilt, a tilt, any smashes, a forward air, for example, taking the first game for Michigan State University. 4 stocks to none.
4-0 for Michigan State. That's going to be just the first game of the set. It is a best of 3. So Michigan State does have 4 stocks left. They're going to win the first game of the set. We do still have at least one more game left here to play. But wow, that was a really good showing from Fair and Echo Fire, just back-to-back, taking plenty of stocks. Closing stuff out for Michigan. With Newman going in there, Miami had a huge lead. But then, Michigan State just sitting in those 2 players, they'll take the rest of the stocks. Didn't have to send in their last player. So I'm sure they're feeling somewhat confident going to this next game here. Miami's have to rethink their game plan about who they send in first. Do you have any sort of predictions how the next one will go? Any extra thoughts on how that game went?
From experience on the team, typically, Palpa's usually sent in first. This is not regardless, but more than often, he just does 10 or I don't know how to speak English, but generally does better when sent in first. This may not be the case, and with it being a new year, new roster, new people on it, hey, we may not see that. We may even see Palpa Sonic. We can't forget about that.
Palpa does have a secondary Sonic here. But yeah, as the players get ready to go into this next game, I believe we're going to go to a quick break here before we go into this next game. So yeah, we're going to see Miami versus Michigan State going back in. Will Palpa go back in? Will the Greninja go back in? We'll have to wait and see. But thank you for sticking around for game 1. We'll be right back with game 2, so don't go anywhere. More Smash coming soon. Hello and welcome back. Kind of a little bit of a unfortunate misstep on our part. This is a best of one series, so that is all we're gonna see from Smash tonight. Unfortunately, I was hoping to see a little bit more. I was excited to cast another game, see how Miami can adapt, but unfortunately, we're not gonna see that here yet. It is a double round robin bracket though, so they will play again, just not tonight. So a little bit sorry for a little bit of a teaser. Going to be right back, coming back. Sorry, there's no more Smash. But yeah, I still really enjoyed watching the game. Do you have any sort of final thoughts on what you just saw?
I mean, I thought we played. I hope we played well. I hope next season we'll be able to do just as good. As the coach. No, I'm happy. I think everyone played really well. Obviously, if you're interested, check out all the social medias. We'll keep you updated on where you could find the updates for who we're gonna be fighting next. All that good stuff. All that good stuff.
Yes. So this Smash stream was a little bit of a special occasion, as you know we have a bye week for Rocket League, so we aren't going to be back next Wednesday. But this Friday, I believe on the Unified Mainstream we will be playing. I'm not sure what team exactly, but we will have our team on the Unified Mainstream. We might have a post about that on social media, so you can check that out, or you can kind of look up the Twitch. They might be live right now, even with a different match if that's still going on. But yeah, hopefully we can get some more Miami Smash streams out in the future. Just don't forget to in the little description on there you can find our Twitter. Click that follow. We'll post every single time before we go live with the little game day graphic, and then you can figure out when our matches are going to be. But we will have another Valorant broadcast tomorrow. So if you're into some Valorant, be back here at 8 p.m. You'll probably see my face here again commentating over some Valorant. So I'm excited for that. But anyways, thank you for sticking with us for this Smash broadcast. We might see you back soon, or even tomorrow. But yeah, anyways, I've been Trailing Moss, and I've been commentating here with.
Yeah, my name, Brendan Afterglow Polly. That's me, the guy.
That is you. And yeah, we are going to be going out of here. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, signing off.